Hey guys, I'm Phil Harris.
And I'm Ashlee Harris.
We are Shred MX Conditioning, and we provide online fitness and nutrition coaching, as well as in-person riding clinics for riders and racers from local to pro.
Now, we're racers ourselves, so we'll be talking about all things moto on this channel, from motocross, fitness and nutrition, injury, prevention and maintenance, local races, amateur nationals, pro events, current happenings in the sport, and everything in between. So whether you're on the road or in the garage, turn it up and enjoy.
This is Shred MX Shop Talk. Hey guys, welcome back. We got episode 14 coming at you, another little tech tip here. We're talking about a little stretching and mobility for moto.
Yeah, and this one was actually requested. So I put this together, again, just little short bite-sized pieces of information you guys can take and apply to your own life, your own riding. So yeah, this one's about stretching and flexibility. This is something that I feel like too, a lot of people know they should be doing and like, oh yeah, that makes sense, but they never take the time to do it.
Yeah, and I mean, I can be honest, I was one that was always bad for that, and I still have my moments where I'm bad for that, where I'm like, oh, I know I got to get a stretch in, and then next thing you know, we're out on the bike riding our sessions or whatever it may be, or mountain biking, or, I mean, for the most part, like when I do a workout, during the day or whatever, whenever I do my workout, I mean, it's kind of hard not to do like a little warm up stretch and then you good stretch after, but because you're kind of already in the routine of doing it. But yeah, like getting that stretch in and like before riding or sometimes after riding and or even just trying to make it a routine like first thing in the morning or something to get the body moving.
Yeah, and I feel like just like you said, it's part of a workout, like your warm up, kind of get the blood moving, and then you're done working out, you take the time to stretch. Well, at least I do after every workout. Everyone should be. But it's funny because I'm with you and I'm guilty of it still sometimes. Like, either you're getting there a little bit late, you want to get out on the track, your class is out on the track, you're like, I gotta go, and you don't take any time at all to warm up the body. Or, you're done riding, you get home, and it's like, man, I'm a little bit beat up, just want to sit down on the couch and not do anything. Like, I've been guilty of both sides of it. And it's almost too, like, sometimes it's a thought that you actually have to, like, really think about doing because, again, it's normal to do it before and after a workout, but it's not something that you always think about before you hop on your dirt bike or when you're done riding for the day.
No, not at all. And I mean, when I was younger, I never really thought about stretching or anything. But man, it's like huge when you actually like do it. Like I always notice a huge difference when I do it personally. And it's like when I realize when I haven't done it on those days, I'm like so mad at myself because I know the days that I do my warm up before we ride and stuff, I feel so good once we get out on the bike.
Yeah, so there's actually several things that warming up beforehand helps with. One of them is actually performance. Because it actually like increases your blood flow, gets more oxygen to your muscles. So it actually does help from a performance standpoint. Helps get like everything warm and moving so that when you get on the bike, you're not like stiff or feeling like a little bit uncomfortable like sometimes you do the first couple laps out there. Also helps because you're warm already. It also helps decrease the risk that you get injured if you do crash. And that's again because your muscles and everything aren't so tight and stiff and cold. You've already warmed them up. So let's say you do take a tumble. Now everything's warmer and can move a little bit better, flex a little bit better. You have better range of motion. So you're helping yourself in more than just one way when you do that warm up.
Yeah. And honestly, like thinking about it right now, the best way, to compare is like if you guys ever taken a stick off of a tree that's still alive and you ripped a stick off and you're like, I'm going to snap this one in half. It does not snap in half because it's still alive, but it has flex. But if you were to take that stick initially, it's really hard to bend because it's still alive. If you sat there and warmed it up essentially and worked it back and forth, it would bend way easier.
Yep.
Your body works the same way.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah, absolutely it does. I feel like too, the other part of like a warm up, whether it's working out or before riding, it kind of gets you into a zone. You know, like you kind of get started feeling like I'm ready to do this, you
Yeah.
know, instead of being like rushed, like, oh, I
Kind
gotta,
of gets you like pumped up, like
yeah,
ready
yeah,
to go. Like,
yeah.
yeah, let's do this.
I like doing it too. Like sometimes we'll have music playing or whatever when we're getting geared up, and that's fun. Again, just to get you in that zone. But I don't like being rushed because I do like to make sure we get that warm up in. Um, Between like body feeling good, mind feeling good, it really sets you in a good space to go out and ride. Now, I will say it's always funny. Sometimes when we're at different places, I'm never sure like where to do it because if we're not around people I know, I'm always like, these people are going to think I'm super weird for doing my Frankensteins and my torso rotations and my jumping jacks if I'm doing them. They're probably looking at me like, man, this chick's really serious. But like, no, I just want to take care of my body. I mean, I am serious about my riding and racing, but I want to take care of my body.
Right.
You ever feel that way?
Oh yeah, I have. And then sometimes like when I first start or I'm like jogging in place or doing some jumping jacks or something, like yeah, I'll like feel a little funny and then I just like I don't know, I just try to turn it off and act like I'm in the basement by myself.
Yeah, and I found too, that's the best thing to do. That way you get it done. But I've also found that doing a warm up like that reminds other people that, oh, I
I
should
should
probably,
do something too.
yeah. So like they're watching and they see one of us doing it and they might like, they'll do like lesser stretches than we do. Like I don't
Right.
really see
They'll
anyone
do
else.
something
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, but they're like, oh, yeah, I should probably do that too. And then, yeah, it kind of like encourages them to do it as well. So sometimes if I'm being shy that day, I'll like go in the van or in the camper and do my warm up. Other times, like I try to be out and under the easy up or whatever so people can see me and encourage others to do the same thing. Even if it's just by like someone else seeing me, not necessarily going around telling people. But yeah, this is like, you can see me doing this. Yeah, you should do it too.
You're right. The other thing I wanted to touch on too, you know, like for the guys that are like me and, you know, the mid 30s or even older, um, you know, like when you wait, you were talking about like soreness and stuff, even. It's huge, like for me, like, and, you know, any guys, girls listen to this, like when you go riding and you do, let's say even a 2 day weekend, you ride or race on Saturday and then you're riding or racing again on Sunday and you get up and Sunday you're like a little tight, a little tired, feeling a little rough, like I don't know if I totally want to do this. And usually, you know, you get gear on by the time you get moving and you get out a few laps in, you're like, okay, body starts moving, right? Throw that warm up in, and oh my God, it's like a game changer because it's like, yeah, initially the same thing, you don't really want to do it. But by the end, you know, like our little warm up we do that we have, like by the end of it, it's like I'm moving, the body's moving, I'm warmed up, the soreness is like worked out, and then it's like by the time like I get on the bike, it's like I don't even really feel. I mean, a little bit, but I feel way less like I rode the day before.
Yeah, and just ready to
Yeah, a
ride.
lot more fresh.
Yeah. So, a couple tips with warming up, like anything you're doing before, again, whether it's riding your dirt bike, even with a workout, riding a mountain bike, whatever, when you're doing a warm up, those type of stretches should be active. So, usually when we do them, you know, jogging in place, high knees, jumping jacks, those are obviously active. You're bouncing around. But even the stretches, like if you're doing like your arm across your chest and then you switch to get your back stretched out, no more than 3 to 5 second holds for each stretch. So you should be actively moving, maybe a couple times on each side, alternate back and forth. Frankensteins are one you stand, you try to kick your leg up, touch your toe to your hand, alternate back and forth. You should just keep moving through these stretches. These aren't long hold stretches. That's called active stretching. Now that's what you want to focus on before you go out and do whatever you're doing for the day. The flip side of that is our stretching afterwards. So again, this one sometimes can get forgotten, especially if like you come home from riding or whatever and like you're just chilling on the couch. Next thing you know, you're passing out watching something. You really should make it
I've never done that.
yeah, never. Really should make it a priority to stretch. That one for sure afterwards absolutely helps relieve how sore you wake up the next day.
Yeah, absolutely.
It reduces so like you have tension in your muscles, like, okay, so you might not feel it right away when you're done. I mean, the soreness might start to set in, but if you start working through those muscles again, start stretching them back out before they ball up when you're sleeping, it helps you recover faster. So with that type of stretching, same type of thing, you want to make sure you focus on all muscle groups, but these are going to be longer hold stretches. So anywhere from 10 to 15 seconds. Take your time, deep breathing. These are the ones that I enjoy and I really get into it because it doesn't really get your heart rate up, but man, does it feel good.
Yeah. I like the after. I'm bad for missing it sometimes, but the after stretches, the ones that you like hold, do feel really good after like you've done something really active. Like get that nice deep stretch and feeling good again. But and it also helps like the day after or even like that 2 day effect from happening.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. The other thing we use, I mean, we take it with us when we travel, which cracks me up, is a foam roller.
Oh,
So
I love the foam roller.
yeah, those are good for like really sore spots. A lot of times, like upper back, you can use them on your quads, your calves, your butt cheeks. Like, oh, this is something. You have a lot of, well, not so much anymore. You used to have a lot of lower back soreness. And I would rub your lower back. Your butt cheeks were actually what was tight. So your body's all connected. So sometimes when something feels sore, it's actually the next muscle group down. So for you, it was your glutes.
Yeah.
And now, like, you learn to use the foam roller on your glutes if your back is feeling that way to get those to loosen up and kind of release the tension on your back. So foam roller is super nice. It's small enough that we throw it in the camper. You can throw it in the van if we want to take it. You just got to find somewhere that you can like set it on the ground and use it. But I like the foam roller a lot too.
I've also found that like, because once in a while I'd struggle with like my sciatic nerve, either from riding or whatever. That's usually when I get it and it flares up. But I've noticed it's really good for that too because I can roll my hamstrings all the way up through my butt cheek, my back, all like in one, like while I'm down there. So it's like I can really work at it and get it, to go away because essentially like
You're,
that's
you're
you got
working
all
the
that balled up down
Yeah,
in
you're
there.
working the
So
whole muscle group. That's
yeah,
what that's called. The whole muscle. That's perfect. That's what you're
instead of
supposed to
like
do.
targeting one area with like a little massage gun or something like that, like you can roll across it almost like all at once if you really wanted to,
Yeah.
back and forth. So yeah, foam rollers really come in handy. Sometimes you feel like you're in a really awkward position, but they work really good.
They do. And the recommendation for those is generally whatever muscle group you're working on, couple of minutes rolling it out. If you find a really sore spot, hold it on that spot for about 30 seconds and then continue rolling. But a couple minutes on each muscle group is usually plenty. And yeah, you have to get in some awkward positions to hit the right muscles sometimes.
Yeah. Also, they are really good if you get loose enough and you relax and you roll across the thing, you can pop your back too.
Yeah.
I've gotten my back to crack.
Yeah, that's super nice. Oh, another one, massage guns. People use massage guns
Yeah,
to kind of loosen up muscles.
those are nice.
Yeah, same kind of concept. I use ours a lot on your calf that has your injured knee. So that's the other thing too. Like again, I was talking about your back was sore. It was actually your glutes that were tight. Now you've been having some issues with knee swelling up because after racing on it all summer and you caught your knee a couple times, been giving you some problems. The knee has been tight and swollen. You can't really like massage a knee. So again, knowing that all of your body is connected, the next muscle group is the calf. So we were using the massage gun on your calf, which actually helped your knee a lot to loosen it up.
Yeah. Yeah, the calf kept tightening up on me because it was kind of taking everything while the knee was swollen and I was still abusing it.
Yeah, and I mean, you have to think about it too. If there's a muscle that's tight, it's connected to the next part of your body. So, of course, it's going to affect it. They call it like it's basically a chain reaction. It's going to affect all the way up your chain. So,
Yeah. Calf and hamstrings are
yeah,
getting beat up on.
yeah. So, we like the massage gun too. I've seen people use them on their forearms when they get arm pump. I don't really know about that. I've never tried that. We use it more as like a massage, like a muscle tension release tool.
Yeah. They work really good. It works really good for like traps and stuff too.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. So again, passive stretching for after 10 to 15 second holds, foam rollers, couple minutes per muscle group. If you find a sore spot, hold on it for 30 seconds. Massage gun, just, I mean, use those. Ours shuts off after 10 minutes. It makes me giggle. So I know if I've used it on you for 10 minutes, I get a break.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do want to mention here too that it is actually possible to overstretch muscles as well. So you can actually lengthen your muscle, your tissue beyond its normal range of motion. And I actually did this to myself with my shoulders. Like, so I have previous shoulder injury. About every 2 years, somehow I dislocate it again, and it sucks for like 3 months. It's terrible. So anyway, it's been a minute. Probably about due. Knock on wood. But when that happens, like I'll do a lot of stretching and stuff for it. And before I realized that you could overstretch muscles, I was stretching my shoulders a bunch because it felt really good. I was really loose. But then I got to the point where my shoulder that gives me issues almost felt like it was slopping out of place more.
Yeah, it was too stretched.
Yeah, like it didn't hurt when it
Too
did.
loose.
Yeah, exactly. It was too like sloppy, like the joint was too sloppy. So then I started researching, and then that's kind of when like I found out like you can overstretch muscles, and I was like, ooh, I've been stretching my shoulders a lot. So, and since then, like, you know, focusing on strength training and less stretching of my shoulders, like just a good amount, not overdoing it, has helped. But you definitely can stretch too much. So that, you know, more is not always better. Another thing too, you have to be patient when you're stretching. So like Phil and I, our stretches look different a lot of the time because I'm more flexible than he is. So you want to be able to feel it. Like a little bit of discomfort is okay when you're stretching. Like, oh, you can feel that that was a sore muscle. Great, good stretch. You just don't want to push to the point of pain. And everyone's flexibility is different. Fun fact, women are in fact more flexible than men, and not just because, you know, I don't know, it always seems like women are, and it's a real thing because we have more, I think it's called elastin and relaxin, different things in our body that allow us to be more flexible. So that's scientific. It's scientifically proven that we are. But anyway, so don't like, I get people all the time because I have stretches in our workout program. They're like, man, I can't get into the stretch as deep as you can. Yeah, like, no kidding. I'm a chick and you're a dude. You're never going to be able to stretch like I can. Just get as far into it as you can, feel a stretch, and that's good.
Yeah, or if you ever do get that far into it, it's going to be a long road to get there.
Yeah, exactly. It's right. So you can't expect.
It's not like, hey, bend over and touch the floor right now.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's not going to happen. Most people can't even probably bend over and touch their knees.
Yeah, you're not kidding. I think before we really got into like working out with you, I don't think you could touch the floor in front of you, could you?
No, I could just barely like fingertip like the top of my like feet.
Yeah, so like if you're bending over at the waist, keeping your knees straight, you had a hard time getting all the way down to the floor. Now you can touch the floor well.
Yeah, I can't quite get my hands flat, but yeah, I'm way more flexible than I was.
But how long of a process has that been?
Well, it's probably been at least like a few years of like steady stretching.
Yeah, it doesn't happen all at once. You're not going to be good at it right off the bat. Everyone's flexibility is different. Old injuries play into that as well, which is why I say like don't push it. You want to feel it, but don't push it because your body will tell you when it's time to stop. So there's like tension length and tension relationships in your body. It actually tells you when a muscle gets to a certain length, it sends a signal to your brain to stop, like to tense up the other muscle to stop lengthening so you don't hurt yourself. So yeah, it's important to listen to your body there and don't try to do everything that you see other people doing, including me, because I've been stretching a long time and I'm a girl and I'm flexible.
Yeah.
I've been doing a little bit of yoga lately just because I like the stretching, and some of the moves that I can get into, I'm like, how do they expect normal people to do this? Because like they have me all like in a pretzel and I'm like, I'm fine, but most people would not be okay. I don't have you do yoga.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, that's why I haven't asked you. That's why I haven't been like, oh, you should do this with me. Like, yeah, you're probably not going to like it. Yeah, so anyways, that's just a little bit about stretching, why you should stretch before, stretch after, some of the tips and things about stretching. So again, just another quick tech tip for you guys, and we'll keep these rolling, especially while we don't have a ton going on personally, race wise right now. So, not a lot to talk about with racing. So, these are kind of nice to be able to put out to help you guys out any way we can.
Yeah. We just want to help you guys out. So get out there and get your stretches on.
Yeah, I'd love to see you guys if we end up at the track together. Love to see people out there stretching beforehand.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Like when we're at the tracks, like before practice days or like when race days roll back around and stuff, because we're obviously getting towards the, we're pretty much end of the season now. But once race days come back around, we'll be doing some stretches in the morning. Come see us. Come hang out.
Yeah, don't be shy. Get it done.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, guys.